What's good, Chaotic Nation? It is your boy Chaos here, and we are back with the team builder for Week 3 versus Tekkit Beasting and the Imploding Typhlosions, as he is sitting at 1-0, and we are sitting at a nice, weird, rocky 2-0. So, first and foremost, I want to talk about a few things. Yes, I do know my mic was muted in the last video, so if you watched that and you're watching this one, please do not go back and comment on that, because I already know about it. I put it in the comments that I knew how to do it. Cool. First of all, I want to say, again, as I said in that video at the end, which you guys did not hear, I really apologize, Mew. That was definitely your battle. I should not have won, but RNG do RNG stuff, and we kind of all got hacked a little bit each way in that, so I apologize for that. Next thing I want to cover, there's been a big change in the PDL as of Week 3, the beginning of Week 3. So Zion actually has dropped from the PDL this season, so his team is not going to be playing. The North Carolina Arclions are now out. So I've redone the schedule, redone all the matches. So we're going to be having a match every single week now. Of course, the weeks that we have had bye weeks, they're going to be taken care of in a little fun thing during Thanksgiving. So Tekkit, the Imploding Typhlosions, the Rhode Island Raticates are going to fight each other, and the Anaheim Fennekins and the Shamrock Scythers will be battling Thanksgiving week. So that is next week. If I'm looking at my calendar correctly, yes. Next week, we are going to there's going to be a bye week for everyone besides those 4 teams. They're going to be battling. The rest of the 4 of us will be sitting out, and that'll put the totals back up to 3. Each team has played 3 matches, and then each team plays every other week. So that is done. Some teams have to play other teams twice. The only team that's played each other 3 times are the Imploding Typhlosions, the Rhode Island Raticates. It was the only way that worked out, so that's how it happened. Another thing to look at is the divisions have also changed. Instead of having 4 divisions, we only have 2 now. I decided that with the help of TUI and the council, that it would make more sense for us to really focus on just two different leagues instead of 2 different divisions, instead of trying to deal with like trying to get 4 divisions and then each person getting someone in and then a third person. It makes more sense this way. Again, as I want to clarify for everybody who is watching who is in the PDL, this final schedule here is not final. I might do it so it's just 1-on-1. It might be the top 2, the winner from each category gets to play. It might be some random thing like that. I don't know. It might be based on records and not worried about divisions at all. But we'll see what happens. So don't worry too much about where your positioning is. Again, we're only 2 weeks in. The positions can greatly change. And another clarification, I'm only sitting at the number 1 spot this week because I have won 2 matches and Ender has won 2 matches, but we're both at 6 differential. The thing is, the only reason I'm on top of him is because my name is alphabetically first. That is the only reason. We're exactly in the same spot. So that is, I think, everything I needed to cover about the PDL, so I apologize for taking a few minutes to do that, but I wanted to keep you guys updated about everything going on and everything changing with the league. So let's take a look at our team builder this week. We got to deal with Tekkit, Beasting, and the Imploding Typhlosions, so let's take a look real quick at his team. We have a Mega Beedrill, a Tangrowth, a Porygon Z, a Skarmory, a Cloyster, a Gligar, Cresselia, Typhlosion, Cofagrigus, Aggron, Regice, and Mudsdale. So a lot of these mons Tekkit uses quite frequently. The Mega Beedrill, I think, has been on his team every single season, as well as the Cloyster. Those are 2 of his go-to mons. Gligar has been switched in and out with Gliscor, but that's kind of there. And then Typhlosion always is a grab for him, so kind of interesting team. Now, he's got a little bit of type diversity. He's got an interesting team. As we saw Week 2 versus the Derby Dawn fans, he decided to use a Trick Room set. So we've talked a little bit, and he kind of is upset that he showed that. But you know, it really doesn't matter when you have things like Cofagrigus and Cresselia on your team. It's kind of obvious that you got a Trick Room set, especially with the Skarmory too. Like, those 3 mons just eat Trick Room, and having a bunch of slow mons, really the only thing that's going to outspeed anything on this team is the Typhlosion, the Cloyster once it sets up, and the Mega Beedrill. Everything else is super slow. Porygon Z maybe is mid-tier, but everything else is really slow. So it's kind of obvious that you're running Trick Room. Sorry about that. Also, update your sheets, you pleb. But let's take a look at the team. What do I think he's going to bring? Beedrill obviously comes 110%, as well as the Cloyster, and I think the Typhlosion. So those are the 3 I'm going to give him every single time. Those 3 are definitely going to come. Now, as for my team and what matches up really nicely and well, I think Cresselia makes an appearance on this team. I think Quagsire can make an appearance for this team this week because I think they pair really nicely, and also they take advantage of that Trick Room. And Quagsire is a way to destroy like some of my abilities and things like that running through my team that is going to be able to help me defeat him. If I had to pick another, I had to pick something else, and I really wanted to pick the Mudsdale. I feel like that's a good bring. I also feel like he could try one of his other tier 5s. Because I feel like Aggron's a really good matchup against anything that's not my fighting types or my my ground types. But I feel like I got a lot of type diversity, so it doesn't really matter what he brings. So it could just be that. I really think Tangrowth could be cool. Porygon Z could be a nice niche play if he wanted to do that. But I don't really see anything else really coming. So my 6 is going to be, that he's going to bring, is the Mega Beedrill, Cloyster, Cresselia, Typhlosion, Quagsire, and Mudsdale. Those are the 5 I think the 6 I think he's going to bring. So let's take a look at my team real quick. And guess what, guys? I am so professional that I've totally had this up the entire time, and I'm not totally looking up Showdown right now to find my team or do anything like that. I'm totally just like already there. So let's take a look. Week 3, Season 4, PDL, the chaotic brings for this week. I don't know how chaotic they are, but they're kind of like standards. So it's really weird for me to run this kind of week. I'm just gonna be honest right now. It's really weird to run these sets for me. It's really messed up. All right, so let's take a look real quick at what we got. So we are bringing a Torkoal this week. I don't have any other fire types. I think a fire type is really necessary for this team. As I also have forgot to mention that I just now thought of it. If you guys can look down here, we have traded Zebstrika for Charizard for week 4. So Charizard's going to be joining the team next week, and that'll be a lot of fun to have on the team. It's my favorite Pokemon, and also something I've always wanted to use in Draft League. So it is there. But we got Smoke taking our fire this week. He's got the Heat Rock, going to set up that Drought. I decided that would be a really good way to build it, because I really need the ways to deal with some of his Pokemon. It deals with the Cloyster that way. It allows another one of my Mons to be set up really nicely, so I feel like it works really well, and I like it that way. I got Stealth Rocks. He's going to be switching in and out a lot. I know that's how the Beedrill likes to run, and if it has to take 25% every time, that's great. If the Typhlosion is Choice Scarfed or Choice Spec'd into, Eruption, it's going to take 25% right off the bat, and it's not going to be as useful. I got Toxic to whittle down his team that's going to be trying to stall me. I got Clear Smog to deal with the Cloyster. I got Lava Plume just as a nice general stab move to deal with everything else. And so this thing is going to be a really interesting set this week. I'm running it pretty generically here, which is really odd for me. It's max defense, slightly just not max HP, and then a little bit in special defense. So, I mean, this thing can take some shots, but it's kind of really typical, and I'm kind of worried about that because I usually run weird sets, but sometimes you just gotta do the obvious thing. Next up is Bianca. Now, I really didn't want to bring this thing this week. I was trying not to. I didn't think my Psychic types had a really good matchup, but this is my only thing that's going to outspeed the Typhlosion and the Mega Beedrill. So I have maxed out my speed stat. I've maxed out my defense. So this is very defensive but fast Mon. So Bianca's going to be blowing through his team. It's going to put pressure on the Mega Beedrill. It puts pressure on the Typhlosion with Earthquake. It puts pressure on literally everything on his team that he wants to bring. If he wants to bring the Quagsire and the Cresselia, I got Shadow Ball. So it's got a lot of coverage. Also, I want to go back to Torkoal because I did not say what it's good against because I have the list right here because this is where I do my list. So Torkoal can take on the Mega Beedrill, take on Tangrowth. Yeah, yes, Tangrowth, not Tango. You can fight the Porygon Z. It just depends on if it has Toxic or not, if I want to deal with that. It can beat Skarmory, it can beat Cloyster. It can maybe beat Gligar if it's not immunity. That's a big thing, and also I have to let it set up on me, which is interesting. So I have to take a +2 Earthquake at least once. It can take Cresselia, it can take Typhlosion, it can kind of take Quagsire and Regice as well. Regice is a really interesting play this week, so I definitely could see that coming too, but I doubt it. And then it can beat Aggron at half. So overall, Torkoal, if I'm reading this right, does well against literally everything against his team but the Mudsdale. Few of them are question marks just because I don't know if I want to take toxic damage or if it's a really close calc and I need to see if they have damage on them already or not. So that's part of the reason why Torkoal is a little iffy on some matchups. Back to Bianca. So Psyshock, Ice Beam, Earthquake, and Shadow Ball. I forget why I'm running Psyshock, but I feel like it's important, and I will remember it later. I'm pretty sure it's for that Typhlosion. No, it's not for the Typhlosion. I'm pretty sure it's for the Beedrill, because if I used Psychic, it wasn't going to kill it. So I think Psyshock actually is guaranteed 100%. But it does give me a way to hit something on the defensive side. So I also didn't want to build offensive on this because I am a mixed attacker. So while I am running a Timid Nature, which lowers my attack stat, I am still going to be able to hit things really hard with a 176 attack stat. So, yeah. So, Levitate, Choice Scarf, all that fun stuff. What Latias beats, it's a way for me to meet, obviously, Mega Beedrill and Typhlosion. It also can deal with Tangrowth a little bit. It beats Cloyster if it's under 80%. It can beat Gliscor. It can beat Cresselia, which is question mark because, again, Toxic. And it can take on the Mudsdale. It's not a favorable matchup, but it can take on the Mudsdale. And I'm probably going to get Toxic, so that's why it's a question mark as well. Overall, this thing is just meant to be fast. It's supposed to be my Mon that outspeeds his team if he's not using Trick Room. And everything else is just kind of there. So we'll see what else happens. Next up is Blue, our Quagsire. Shout out to Blue for, this awesome Pokemon. I meant to give you, I think, leftovers. Maybe I didn't decide. I don't know. I'll go back and check the calcs, but I'll give it leftovers for now. I am unaware, so I can deal with the Cloyster. That's a way to deal with that, as well as if he tries to set up with something else. Like the Gligar as well, I have ways to deal with it. But I'm running Scald, Earthquake, Rest, Sleep Talk. So the best way for him to deal with my Quagsire is to Toxic me. And so I don't have to deal with that. I can use Rest Talk to get out of it. There are situations where Mons do wall me, and that is something to deal with, but I feel like this is a good Mon to bring just to deal with like his Cloyster and things like that. So I really think it's a great Mon to have, and it's going to be a really fun mixed attacker to run this week. I am running max defense, max HP, and a little bit of special defense. I feel like the defensive side for this thing is a lot better, meaning I can take that Mega Beedrill. I also take that Cloyster a little bit better, and I don't really have to worry about the Typhlosion too much, but yeah, we'll see what happens. And Quagsire can beat Mega Beedrill. Porygon Z can take on Skarmory and Cloyster. It's not the best matchup, but I can do it. It beats Gligar, and it can beat Typhlosion as long as it's Choice Scarfed or Choice Spexed. If it is able to switch to like Hidden Power Grass, or I believe it gets Grass Knot, if it's able to switch to that, we're dead. So I gotta watch that and try to get around that. So that is something to note. It can take on the Cofagrigus because the only way for it to really deal with me is to put me to sleep. Is not to put me to sleep. Is to Toxic me, and I can rest that off. I can also burn it, so that's a way to deal with it as well. It tries to set up on me again. I'm unaware, so I don't have to worry about that. It can beat Aggron, which is nice because it's as long as it's not like Air Balloon or something weird, it can just destroy it. It can also take on Cresselia. It beats Regice at a 3rd HP. Because, it's going to two-shot me, most likely. And it also can take on Mudsdale. So, Quagsire is a really interesting matchup this week. I decided to bring it over for Alligator just because I wanted to try it out a little bit. And also, I feel like it just has a good match this week, despite everything. I don't really need to set up in Tekkett's face. And I probably will be... I feel like I'm going to get punished if I do, because I know he'll switch out for the type advantage. So, I'm not going to even try to set up in his face. I'm just going to go in all guns blazing. So... it's going to be how we're doing it. Next up is my boy Ali coming in for the first time this season. I got an Assault Vest, Iron Fist set with Drain Punch, Earthquake, Ice Punch, and Rapid Spin. Now, I thought Rapid Spin was a better option here. I was going to put like Mach Punch on. I was going to put some weird strats also on this thing. But I feel like Rapid Spin is nice just in case he tries to bring in the Aggron. He tries to set up a nice cheeky Stealth Rock while I switch into Hitmonchan and I can Rapid Spin it off next turn. The only issue with that is if he does have Cofagrigus, which I do expect him to bring, I have to worry about that. I was gonna do Throat Chop, but I decided Rapid Spin was probably the best idea just so I could get rid of the hazards. So that is my option in the back for that. It's max HP, max attack, and with the set, it does deal with the Tangrowth ? It's a weird calc. It can beat Porygon it can beat Porygon Z, which is nice. It can beat Skarmory. It can beat Cloyster potentially. It can beat Gligar. It maybe beats Typhlosion. It can beat Aggron, and it can beat Regice. So it's got a lot of interesting matchups. Deals with all his lower mons that he could throw in and out for that final slot. So this is really a utility pick in the back that's going to be doing some work. Next up is Venusaur. So I thought while I'm running the sun, I might as well bring the Venusaur, see what this can do. Again, I haven't nicknamed it, but I will nickname it by that. It's most likely going to be called Venus. So it's Lady, or it's probably going to be called Lady. But I am running Groundium Z Chlorophyll again. I feel like this set is very similar to the one I ran the last time I brought the Venusaur, although I really didn't get to use it much, so it is here now. I got Giga Drain, Earthquake, Sludge Bomb, and Hidden Power Fire. I'm running a mixed attack set, so it's very interesting to do that for me. I'm running just enough speed EVs to outspeed the Mega Beedrill and the Choice Scarfed Typhlosion. So when the sun is up, I actually can beat the Typhlosion with a Venusaur, which is absolutely phenomenal and great. Because if he takes 25% to Stealth Rocks, I hit Groundium Z and he is dead. So the only thing I really got to worry about with Groundium Z is the Levitate users on his team and the Flying types. So once I get through those, I'll be alright. But that's why I kind of wanted to put it on my last mon, but I didn't. But the set, the split, I'm running max HP, 204 speed, just outspeed those two things in Sun, and then just enough defense for the rest of the stuff to, make my defensive stats equal out. Actually, my defense, special attack, and special defense are all the same, which is really cool at 236. But with this set, Venusaur can deal with Mega Beedrill. It beats Tangrowth. It beats maybe Porygon Z. It maybe beats Skarmory. It's a really weird calc for Skarmory. It can beat Skarmory if it roosts and then I Earthquake in its face, or Groundium Z. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. It's a weird matchup. Probably won't use it, but we'll see. Could take a Cloyster potentially. It can beat Gligar, and it also deals with Cresselia. It can beat Typhlosion with Stealth Rocks and Sun. It beats Cofagrigus potentially. It beats Aggron potentially, and it can also deal with the Mudsdale. So gives me some options for the back as well. Another utility pick. And, I thought I was running the Sun, so I might as well bring the Venusaur too and let it do some work. And last but not least, I am bringing Escovedo. So now I really thought hard last week when I was doing my trade. I knew I wanted Charizard and I knew I wanted Escovedo. But the fact of the matter is, I thought both would be good for the match, but I knew I had my Torkoal to deal with the fire type things I needed done for this match. So I decided that the Escovedo was more important for me to grab last week, so that way I could use it this week. And I feel like it's a really good set for the team to have as the last pick on my squad. I'm running max attack, max special defense. It can take some shots. It's not meant to be fast because I know everything that he has that's going to outspeeds me. And so I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to let it be slow, worry about building my defenses stats more, and being an offensive powerhouse. So as you can see, I'm sitting well over 300 in HP in attack, and then my special defense is sitting about 250. So we're doing pretty well in the defensive department. And we also have Assault Vest, which makes my special defense uber high, which means this thing is going to be a tank, mainly for things like the Typhlosion that might try to just stay in and eruption me, and then I can do a lot of damage right back to it. So it would be really cool. I got Earthquake, Poison Jab, Iron Head, and Rapid Spin. Again, I want another Rapid Spin user just so I could get rid of the hazards in case either Torkoal or Escovedo goes down before I get rid of the Cofagrigus. I have another option to get rid of hazards. They're not as worrying to me, but I didn't really have a nice move for the last slot, so I decided Rapid Spin was going to be my pick. I do have Earthquake and Iron Head for stabs, and I have Poison Jab to deal with some really interesting stuff, especially it's really for that Tangrowth, and I didn't really want to do that, but it has the potential to work in that fight if I need it to be. So it can beat Mega Beedrill, it can beat Porygon Z, it beats Skarmory, it beats Cresselia. It can beat Cofagrigus. It's a weird battle again, but it does work. I do lose Mold Breaker at that point, and that's a little frustrating for me. So I honestly probably used Quagsire or Torkoal to deal with that one. And then it also can take on that Tangrowth as long as it's under half. It can beat Aggron, and it beats Regice. So it's got some really interesting matchups this week, and that's why I thought I brought it. The Steel type really gives me extra versatility in the back. And then, of course, a nice strong ground type is going to put a lot of dents in this team. And it also stops that Mega Beedrill from just clicking Poison Jab on my team. So that's another way to get rid of it. But that is going to be the team. That is going to be what I'm bringing for week number 3. If you guys want to see the match, it is up tomorrow. I promise there will be audio as best I can because it was really frustrating that it wasn't there. Again, I hope you guys watch out the beginning of this video to check out the changes. And I hope you guys are excited for week 3. And just remember, we will not have a match next week as it is Thanksgiving, and half the league gets it off because we have to make up games the other way. So, but I will battle Tekkit this week. We're gonna be hopefully going to 3-0, staying on top of the brackets, and you know, taking our team as far as we can in this game and as far as we can in the season to the playoffs. Again, I feel like we got a really good team, so my next goal is just to play smart and win the match. So hopefully that all goes well, and you know, best of luck to my opponent who will be fighting tomorrow. So make sure you check out the channel tomorrow so you can see the match. But that is all from me for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button for more content from me on the PDL and other Pokemon content. And I will see you guys next time for some more Pokemon content. So until then, my name is Chaos, and I'm signing off. Stay safe, and as always, burn it up.